What's up guys, Ashley here, and I did my makeup and hair today, kind of, and usually I don't because I have kids and my life is crazy. So I thought, well, this is a good day to do a YouTube video because I look at least kind of put together. But I also wanted to make a video for a little while now because I passed my 1-year mark with reselling. I started on Amazon this time last year and I started on eBay 6 months ago. So I thought I would sketch out maybe like my numbers and show you my numbers versus my profit, what I actually profited, and then talk about some things I've learned and mistakes I've made and you know, some successes I've had. So I thought it would be a really helpful video for anyone who's just starting out and wondering what that first year will look like, especially those who are starting out with very little capital. I started with $1,000 and I just kind of had to keep rolling it back in. So let me show you that real quick and then we'll talk in a second about my mistakes. All right, so here you go. I'm just pointing my phone at my screen because I don't have like a fancy enough computer to do like the screen grab and make it look okay. So forgive me, you guys know like video quality is not my thing. But yeah, here you have it. It's about $82,645, which I'm super happy with considering I started with $1,000. So I started with $1,000, I sold what I could, reinvested that, and just kept doing that throughout the entire year. I did not pay myself. I just kept reinvesting in my business, and this is where it has the potential to grow, which I think is cool. So average sales, $24, not as high as I would like, but I do a huge volume in books, and so that's what kind of drove that down. So yeah, I'm just super pumped. I was really pleased with these numbers for Amazon. I feel like, Amazon is definitely the more scalable business avenue because of the, with FBA, you send stuff in and you don't have to think about it anymore. Whereas with eBay, you have to have an inventory system, ship it out yourself. There is still amazing potential with eBay, but anyway, so let me now break down what I sold, like what categories I sold in. Okay, so I moved 2,292 units of books. That was definitely the highest. Then followed by video games. I picked a lot of those up at garage sales and OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. That was my niche for a while. Video games, consoles, anything like that seems to sell really quickly and well on Amazon, and so I did that. And then clothing is, I only started really doing clothing this year, and it's done all right for me. There have been a lot of returns, and by the way, this sales number does not include returns, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then, the rest of the categories are kind of miscellaneous. And then if you want to see total volume, almost half of this is, like half of my total sales volume is books, followed by clothing, video games, toys, etc. So anyway, let's break down though what my returns were. All right, so here's my breakdown. This is Inventory Lab. I really like to use Inventory Lab for my accounting and for ease of processing Amazon transactions and processing shipments. It's really nice. So anywho, you can see it breaks down my total sales, and then this little fun red number is returns, which is really annoying. Returns are, generally put back in my inventory to sell again, especially books, clothing. Those are deemed okay by Amazon. They put them back. Electronics, though, those come back to you, and you have to kind of liquidate them on eBay. So even though this is not a fun number, I will be able to, for the most part, recoup my money on these, even if they are returned. This is reimbursements. There's a lot of little numbers here, but let's get to the profit. Okay, and these are all of Amazon's fees. And I know you can't see the column over here, but these are all of Amazon's fees, like cost of goods sold, commissions, closing fees, fulfillment fees, all that stuff. Amazon does charge a lot of fees because they are the world's biggest marketplace, and they are fulfilling it for you. They're shipping it, they're handling customer service with FBA. So there are a lot of annoying fees to kind of deal with. So after fees and everything though, this number here is my net profit, 26,901, which I personally think is great. I'm really pleased with that number. Like, I know many of you probably think it's terrible, but I'm pleased with it because I started out with $1,000, and any investment where you can take $1,000 and turn it into $26,000 in a year, I think that's okay. I think that's pretty good, but maybe you guys will disagree with me. Okay, and this screen here is eBay. So eBay, like I said, I only started doing pretty much in January. So these sales last 12 months, like technically it evaluated me on July 20th, so there are a few extra days in there, but please forgive me. So 6,904 for eBay. It does not break down my expenses as conveniently as Inventory Lab, but what I can tell you is about half of this is profit once I break the numbers down. Now, I have spent a lot on inventory, and everything I have is, has cost me more than I've made as far as like all the inventory that I currently have, but that's kind of the plan. You have to keep rolling it back in. Okay, so when you add up eBay and Amazon, you get, I'm looking at my calculator, $89,549 in total sales, plus I did about $2,000 in local sales. That brings me to over $90,000 in total sales for everything. So technically $91,549. And I'm pleased with that number. The thing is though, I want to grow more. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But I don't know if there's any other way to learn. And that's one thing I would definitely encourage you is just jump in. You're not going to know everything. You'll, figure it out as you fall off the cliff. You'll grow your wings, right? I heard that from a friend of mine. You will jump off the cliff and grow your wings on the way down. And that's kind of what I did. I jumped in. I was super excited about it. So that was definitely one of my mistakes. Another mistake was I wasn't so great about conditioning my stuff when I first started. So things I assumed would work fine and I would send to Amazon didn't work and then were returned, and then I had to deal with, a bad rating and had to get that removed. So that, that was something I started off with that I didn't have the thoroughness that I do now, for sure. So that's one thing. And secondly, Amazon is really strict with condition guidelines, so I didn't follow those as closely as I should have. And that can ding you too. So be super careful with your condition guidelines. Don't sell anything new unless it is pristine, brand new, wrapped, sealed, and perfect. And then the same with used. If it's used very good, it doesn't need the box, or if it's a book, it needs to be clean pages. It can have a little wear, but unmarked pages. And then with an item, no box, but in really good condition, not a ton of wear, works perfectly, includes all the things like attachments, remotes, etc. So that's something to be careful about. Another mistake I made was assuming prices would stay the same as soon as I sent them to the warehouse. So I didn't really know much about Camel data, Keepa, sales rank, price history. I didn't know about that when I first started, and that was to my detriment. I would buy something at Walmart clearance, it would be $3 and then sell for $12 on Amazon, and I thought, great, I can make a profit on this, and I would buy out the whole shelf. Well, the problem with that is I wasn't looking at data, and I couldn't see that it was a temporary spike in sales, or that everyone else at every Walmart in America was doing the same thing and was going to send all their products to Amazon and drive the price down. So in the beginning, I wasn't very patient. I wouldn't wait for the price to go back up. I would just sell it, take the loss, and move on. And I wish kind of I had waited, because generally, as far as I know now, after a year of doing this, prices do go back up. So if you can be patient, prices will go back up and you can still make your profit. So I would do that as well. And then another mistake, using my repricer. I don't think that was a mistake, but I set it really aggressively and I didn't wait long enough for the profit to come back. And that's something that I was just impatient. I only had $1,000. I needed that to come back to me to reinvest. I needed that quick nickel. And I kind of wish I had been a little more patient and waited for the better profit to come, just even a few weeks or maybe a month later, when prices would stabilize and go back up. So now with my repricer, I set minimum and maximum price points, and I'm okay if it takes a little bit to sell, because I know that it will eventually. So that's definitely something that I've changed in my strategy. And then the wins. I think, one of the wins that I had and one of the successes was, as soon as I got stuff, I boxed it up. I didn't have death piles. I would just get it, list it, send it out as soon as I could. And that's partly because I didn't want all the clutter in my home. And also partly because I knew that as soon as it hit the warehouse, it it would sell sometimes, the new stuff. Like I knew the quicker it got to the warehouse, the quicker it would sell. So I wanted that, and I like I said, I needed that money back to me as quickly as possible. So anyway, so that was a success, I think. Another was my focus. I wasn't rigid in my focus. I branched out to a lot of different things. I tried a lot of different things, and I actually still am trying a lot of different things. I haven't set my ways in one method, and that's it. I know about online arbitrage. I know about retail arbitrage. I know about books, video games, and because I was so, I did a lot of different categories and sold in them. When the gating happened, I was ungated, and a lot of them because I had previously sold in that category. For example, Nintendo, PlayStation, Sony, DVD players. There were a lot of brands that I was grandfathered in and can now still sell. So that was definitely a bonus. Same with clothing. I wish I could go in a time machine, go back and sell Nikes when they were ungated, so that I'm not, wasn't currently gated right now. So that's one thing that with Amazon, generally before they gate a category, they'll grandfather you in if you have a good selling history and you've been selling that product for a little while. So, what else? I hope I'm not boring everyone. Sorry, this is not going to be edited because I don't have time. If you want to follow more on Instagram at Hustle at Home Mom, I do go behind the scenes more and I talk about my strategies with Amazon and eBay. We can talk about eBay. So eBay, I'm still learning. I'm definitely not an expert. I do mostly use clothing with eBay. So with eBay, I've learned a lot of lessons. Buy it now is generally going to get you more money than an auction, unless it's a really hot ticket item, or unless you gain a really strong reputation for auctions consistently. I think either you go all in with auctions and you gain an audience and you make it work and it works awesome. I have some amazing eBay friends who do that. But for me personally, I think I'd rather do the buy it now for now, and hold those prices. So it's just about building up inventory. It's a lot like books. Books with Amazon, you have to build up your inventory really big, and then you're going to sell a few each day. During textbook season, 1% to 3% a day. And then on the off season, 0.5% to 1% a day with the repricer. And it slows down. And then the same with clothing. I think you see generally, if you have 100 items, 30 or so will sell in the first month, and then you have to relist. And so you're going to see about the same percentages with used clothing, which is fine. Like if you can be patient and build up a huge inventory, then you'll see really consistent sales. And that's what booksellers do on Amazon, and that's what clothing sellers do on eBay, I've seen. So clothing, I'm really just trying to build up that inventory with eBay so I can see those really consistent sales. And I am not quite there yet, so my eBay numbers are dwarfed by my Amazon numbers, but I'm still excited about the potential. And plus, I need eBay to be the place where all of my Amazon rejects go. I need it to be the place where I can sell broken things or things that were returned to me on Amazon. I can sell them used on eBay, or clothing items that were returned on Amazon now can be sold used on eBay. So I like the idea of having those two machines going, those two selling machines and money earning machines going. And then locally, I love to sell quick flips, things that are too big to ship or too annoying to ship. I'll just flip locally, and that's totally fine with me. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it's been comprehensive enough. Sorry it's not edited and professional. I'm a mom. You guys know. If you follow me, you know I'm a mom. I don't have much time. I just wanted to get this video out to help you. Hopefully it did. Number one thing I would encourage is that you just jump in. Just try it and see what happens. I mean, worst case scenario, really, pretty much worst case scenario, you break even. And for me, luckily that didn't happen. And I will say phase one for me was thrift stores, books, cheap items, garage sales that I could flip for a really nice return on my money. And that's a large reason why I was able to profit so much. But now that I have a little more money to play with, I am looking to buy new items that won't have the same quick return, but will be easier to process and ship, and will sell pretty quickly when they hit Amazon's warehouse. So that's a new shift in direction that I'm going. Same with online arbitrage. I want to find electronics, anything really, anything that'll sell for quickly and that's at a certain rank and will sell for a certain amount of profit. I'm happy to buy those and sell them. So Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If you want more information or you want to follow this little journey of mine to pay off my house with Amazon and eBay, you can follow me on Instagram at Hustle at Home Mom. You can follow me on Facebook at Hustle at Home Mom. And of course, here, like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. I'll see you next time.